It's the gluten in your white bread. It's the MSG in your sweet and sour pork. It's the Lieutenant Dan in your Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. It's the Bronson in your art team.
You guys are high. Those are not hot.
You're not quite sure what it does, if anything. You can't even remember its name most of the time. But for some reason, in the back of your mind, you're pretty sure if it wasn't there, things just wouldn't work right. And this, my friends, is Pulse. Pinocchio is a well-known tale that analogizes the growth from a child's perspective of the world to an adult's perspective, trading hedonism and fear for resolve and self-sacrifice to those around you. But at the beginning, Geppetto fashions a beautiful and well-crafted puppet. And it is the Pinocchio we all know, except for one difference. It is not alive. It's a toy that you can play with, but that cannot play with you. The soul, the personality, the voice, the independent thoughts are granted to the toy and then bring it to life. And only then is it actually Pinocchio. The game can be beautiful, challenging, rife with mini games, loops. At the end of the day, though, those things alone do not allow the game to build a relationship with a player. The game needs something to say, a perspective, a personality, a voice, its own independent thoughts, and a way to communicate them. And Pulse is the subsystem in Pantheon that gives Pantheon Rise of the Fallen a soul. Digging a little deeper, what is Pulse doing for me? That's the question, right? It's all about me, the player. Well, Pulse helps answer all of life's greatest questions. For instance, who am I? Well, I love the old arcade hit Altered Beast. Did I care who my character was and how I became gifted with the ability to transform into a hulking werewolf? No. I've got 10 minutes and a pocket full of quarters. Now, sitting around a few weekends ago and rolling a new character for the tabletop game Shadowrun was like writing a biography. And this is what makes an RPG what it is. In life, your sense of self is measured by the community around you. So, in-game, if the townsfolk at the tavern greet me warmly, I'm apparently an upstanding member of this community. Well, what is it that would make me less popular? Well, I need to be able to learn that if I wish to remain here. I need others in the community to give me information. I need people from other places to do the same, to orient myself in the direction I wish to take my life. And I need to respond to those people to give them information about myself and my goals and my ambitions. A faction is a great mechanism to affect the direction you wish to take, but not to know how to use it. To use faction, I need conversation. I need NPC input. I need stories, gossip, news of the day, secrets in a dark alley. Sometimes I may need to speak with the person who has claimed to be the bad guy to get his side of the story. The Gadai Bandits are a group of mercenaries and thugs found around the human region under Thronefastian control. If at launch, every character in Thronefast was neutral to the bandits, would you kill them? Would you kill the guards around their encampment and not the guards around Demyth or Avelia? If I'm to make that choice, I need to have a conversation with the game to find out more about Avelia or Demyth or the Gadai. Now, I know there's a portion of the MMORPG community that do not care about the RPG part. They want to claim dominance over the AI, the challenging fights, and the puzzles. Or they want to become gazillionaires. They don't give a flip about who and why. They kill, loot, raid, repeat. But let's be honest, the beat the game approach is the same in Frogger as it is in Horizon, as it is in Pantheon. Mechanics are analyzed and plans are made and you beat it. So what is it that makes Frogger different from Horizon? Well, I can beat the mechanics while enjoying a good story. Well, then what makes Horizon different from Pantheon? I can beat the mechanics while telling my own story. And so, how does Pulse help me tell my own story? From very early on, a major thrust of the game has centered around making lore meaningful to the other aspects of the game. There's a lot you can learn about dungeons, bosses, spawn timers, hidden locations, lost relics, or other powerful resources. And you can actually gain an advantage by learning the lore of the game. The archaic way to interact with lore in an MMORPG was through quests. Farmer Jarnson had his broom stolen by a pack of gnolls. Great. Kill the gnolls, return the broom, get EXP. I learned that gnolls steal brooms from local farmers. The gnolls I have killed give me a faction hit to King Ruff and the gnolls of Wet Paw Marsh. Okay, now I know that there may be a king gnoll that I can kill. And if I return Farmer Jarnson's broom enough times, I might could level, and I may get my faction up to where Farmer Steel Grip down the road will tell me about some other quest. Now, that was a step up from early text-based adventures, but not a big one. So how can you make lore more engaging? Well, you give more useful information for one. So that involves conversations with NPCs who only feel comfortable telling you certain information if you have done the right things for them to like you, which may be outside of just faction. Maybe Farmer Jarnson's brother-in-law was missing his daughter and you found her. So now he owes you and he gives you more information. Or you have passed by a strange spring that has purple waters, and because you've seen it, you hear a conversation giving more information about why the water is purple. Which once you have discovered enough things about it, someone tells you of a secret portal to the magician that turned the water purple. So in technical terms, I need a system that can keep track of multiple conversations with multiple NPCs, that can check for specific flags of things that I've done, things that I've heard, even things that I have seen. And I need those things relayed to me, sometimes just internal thoughts or feelings while walking through a dark wood. And since the unbreakable tenets behind the creation of Pantheon include all actions have consequences, and meaningful character progression increases player power and prestige, the more I find out, the more powerful I should become. And this leads to the creation of the perception system, which allows the game to converse with you about the things that you see and feel and taste and smell and hear, that offers breadcrumbs to follow. Now, this obviously would be a massive database of flags and conversations and lore and quests that spans from the mundane Thronefastian militia and their greeting to me to know where I stand, to Farmer Jarnson and his broom quest, all the way to unlocking a secret, never-before-seen dungeon that could only be opened once 20 players on the server followed enough breadcrumbs to find a sliver of information about the Dragon Accord's whereabouts. All of this is handled within Pulse. So you can imagine what the world is like without it. You've been playing it. The guards all say the same thing. Who built the stairs on the north side of Avelia, and what are their significance? Where can I find the leaders of Gadai so I can be recruited? What's the news from Tenebris, and how can I get there? The mechanics of the game have been great. The class additions have been so welcome. But at the end of the day, Pantheon currently is a co-op fighting game, i.e. Call of Duty Zombies. Just way more fun. It's a beautifully crafted puppet that is fun to play with. But I would much rather we both play together.